Oh boy, la 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 la, I got some la 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 la. Yeah. I was gonna clean my room, but then I got high. I was gonna get up.
What's up, guys? JoyKong94 today, and let's start the vlog off early. Today's Friday. I'm about to go to the store. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but you'll know in the title. And yeah, I'm about to go to the store. By the way, just because I started the video here, I might as well show you guys. Like, if you guys are into cologne, want me to do some cologne videos, I got you. All right, guys, do a little start for yous. Tonight I'm gonna make the salmon, tomorrow I'm gonna make the steak, and Sunday I'm gonna make the ribs. Yo, shout out to Pirates Booty, like, that's filled to there, that's filled to there, that's filled to, they don't give you just air, they hook you up. Like, that shit's filled damn near to the brim. Like, shit. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna get some, why not? But at the same time, I don't need an 18-ounce bag, I'm gonna find me a smaller one someplace and get that. Oh, chips. Alright, guys, so we had a pretty successful Wegmans run. Got some shit for the weekend. Got some fucking, I'm getting more comfortable filming in stores, by the way, but I got us some steak for tomorrow with the mushrooms. So I'm going to pan fry up that piece of salmon, and then Sunday we'll smoke some baby back ribs. I did spare ribs last time, so this time we're going to do baby backs. I might make a different rub for them this time, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully you can hear me over the cart, by the way. But yeah, these people looking at me like I'm nuts. Alright, see you guys soon. Alright, guys, so for Friday, we're going to make this salmon. So all we're going to do is we're going to open it up. Okay, take it out. I don't know why I wasn't using a tripod in the first place. So we're going to take this out, and we're just going to let it sit at room temperature for about 15 to 20 minutes just to get room temp. So, tomorrow for dinner, I'm going to make this steak. So I am going to dry and brine it. And that simply means take the steak, put it on a rack like this. If you don't have a rack, use some forks upside down, kind of crisscross them. But then we're literally just gonna cover it really well with kosher salt. Tuck it in. Okay, flip it. Okay, kind of pack it in. Remove the rack for a second and kind of mop up the salt on the side. It doesn't have to really be too crazy on the sides, but also doesn't hurt. I'll put our rack down with 2 hands. Put our rack back. And all we have to do is leave this in the fridge overnight until we're ready to eat it tomorrow. And the steak's ready. Alright, so the next thing you want to do once your salmon comes to temperature is just simply take it, kind of curl it, and make slits. You gotta have a really sharp knife for this or it won't work. But just make a few slits like this in it. Okay? And that's gonna help the skin stay flat and crisp up. So the next thing you want to do is season your fish with kosher salt. And when you do it, make sure you open up those little slits and kind of get the seasoning down in there. Okay. Some freshly ground black pepper. Again, same thing, kind of open up those little slits and try to get a little bit in there. What you can do is just simply grind some into your hand, like this. All right, if you still want to use freshly ground, and just take little pinches and open up that skin, right? And just put little pinches right in there. If you want, you can stuff that with little thyme flowers. I'm not gonna do that today, but you could. And then simply flip it over. Okay. And season this side. Okay, nice kosher salt. And freshly ground black pepper. And then, like any piece of meat we would do, we don't want to waste that seasoning, so take the edges and mop up all that beautiful salt and pepper. Yeah, so let's get our pan ready. So I have 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to crush, and to do that, I'm just going to simply place the thickest part of the knife on the blade, keep my hand flat, my fingers away, and just give it a little smack. When you do that, the garlic should peel real easy, come right out. You don't really have to peel it in this application, but I always do just because why not? But you don't really have to. Okay guys, so I got a non-stick medium-sized skillet heating up over medium-high heat, just a touch over medium. So let your skillet get nice and hot. You want to be able to kind of hold your hand and feel the heat out from here. Alright guys, so when you can feel the heat from about here, I forgot to hit record, but when you can feel the heat from about up here, which is maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, whatever, over the thing, is when you want to add your oil. And if you can see it, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but it's kind of ripply back up here. That's when you know it's hot. So just, you know, kind of roll around your pan, and if you can see those ripples that it makes in the middle, those like little lines, that's how you know your oil is heated properly. So the next thing you want to do is just add your salmon, and you want to hear this sound, and keep your hand on it for about 30 seconds. If it gets hot, obviously just use a spatula. The reason you want to do that is to keep the skin flat, but you don't want to apply a lot of pressure. You only want to do it for the first few seconds. And the cool thing about fish is, I'm going to bring you guys down in a second. So the really cool thing about fish is that if you look closely, you can see right there how it's turning color. And when it gets a little bit more than halfway, a little bit less than halfway, we're going to flip it. And just watch your heat, make sure nothing burns. But a little bit above medium, you should be fine. Another little trick is to tilt it and kind of fry up the back of that salmon. But you actually want to do it with the stick around, so I'm going to spin this around. But if you check our skin, it's getting perfectly crispy. And turn it around. And actually, it's ready to flip now. So you can see how it's pretty much all the way cooked through. Oops. So it can go a little bit longer on the other side, but that's okay. We're going to flip it and baste. So let this cook for about a minute maybe on this side. Okay, after about a minute, we're going to take the salmon and we're going to flip it back on its other side. Okay. And we're going to turn the heat down to low. A little bit above low like this. Okay. And then we're going to throw in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salted butter, or unsalted butter if you have that, but I only have salted. Let this melt. Alright, so once your butter starts to foam like that, add your cloves of garlic, and then throw in your thyme. Okay. You might want to increase the heat a little bit, because you want that thyme to kind of fry up. So I'm going to turn up my heat just a bit. Alright, but then all you have to do is tilt back your pan and just slowly kind of start basting that delicious butter, that thyme and garlic infused butter over your salmon. And let's just test. Oh yeah, we're almost done. You can even put those herbs and garlic right on top, like this, and just baste. And take your time, you know, there's no rush with this. You can do this much faster with higher heat, but, you know, we're not in a rush right now. We're cooking this nice. It's gonna be beautiful. I haven't made salmon in, you know, years. So if I mess this up, don't blame me, but I haven't made this in a long time, but it's delicious. And I went to this. I'm salivating right now. I'm drooling. I went to the store and it just looked awesome. It's all right. It should be done. We're gonna take this off. Okay. And we're gonna just put it on our plate. It's kind of tricky to do this with one hand. We're just gonna put it on our plate and let this rest for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, guys. The only thing this needs is just a couple little squirts of lemon juice. Fresh would be better, but I don't have any. I forgot to get some. All right, guys. So again, hopefully I'm in frame. Using the back camera because it's better quality. But yeah, let's get into the salmon. As you can see, it's perfectly cooked. Wow. There's that skin. Nice and crunchy. I mean, you guys can see it. It's just flaky. It's perfect. Wow. Such a simple, quick thing to do, but it's really, really good. All right, guys. I'm gonna eat. I'll see you guys when I see you. Oops. All right, guys. So we're gonna try mango. Okay. I'm gonna slice a nice bit of mango over here. Okay. And I heard that putting some of this tahini is really dank like this. Now, I love mangoes, so. Oh. I would say that's a healthy amount. Alright, mango and tahini. What the hell? It's like sour. Whoa. By the way, I apologize. I realized I eat mangoes really nastily, but I don't care. That's pretty good. I'm gonna try some more. Hold on. Alright, so just regular mango. And don't worry, I will clean that. Now, tahini, whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, why is it so goddamn sour? People that know what I'm supposed to be doing, am I putting too much on that or what? Because goddamn. Oh, sour. Okay, guys, so look, as you can see, it's bringing up moisture, but that is protein latent moisture, which means it's gonna give us a better crust. So I'm gonna flip this and just let this keep going. And in the morning, I'm gonna flip it again. All right, it's 8:50 in the morning. I'm gonna flip this again. But you can see the color difference, and much more darker, deeper red, which is good. All that salt inside the steak now. It's gonna be perfectly seasoned. All right, guys, let's make the rub. So we're gonna add 1/4 cup of kosher salt, 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar, 1/4 cup of smoked paprika. Make sure it's smoked. 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon black pepper. Then finally, 1 tablespoon of turmeric and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix this well. Make sure you crush up all of the little granules. You'll see I'm transferring to a bigger bowl because mine was too small.
And just you really want to make sure it's mixed well and all the little pieces of brown sugar are crushed, so when you put it in your bottle, it comes out easier. But this is Guga's rub, so shout out to Guga for the recipe. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, guys, so there is our rub. We're going to use this on one of our racks of ribs tomorrow. I'm just go ahead and give it another shake. You really want to make sure, I already narrated the other part, but you really want to make sure you try to break up as much of the brown sugar as you can. It just makes it easier. So I'm going to shake this for a couple minutes as best as I can. But yeah, so that's just getting one step done for tomorrow. All right, guys, so it's around almost 3:30, so I got one of my grandma's steaks. She gets these things from QVC. I don't like them. They don't have any fat on them, but she likes them. So I'm going to put it in some room temperature water. That's a little bit too warm. Let that drain. I plan on making that steak last night. That's why I didn't do this for her last night. But she also doesn't like her stuff salty, so I don't dry brine her stuff normally. So, anyways, get this submerged. Let this come up to around room temperature. All right, guys. So here is my steak, and as you can see, it's more. It's hard to describe it. It's dry in the center, but it's in a good way. You can see the color change is darker, but this is a really nice steak. I mean, it has pretty good marbling, nice intermuscular fat, a nice spinalis and fat cap. It's gonna be a delicious steak. So yeah, let them both come up to room temperature. This one's gonna come to room temperature. That one's gonna defrost. Should be ready around the same time. Let's go get the smoker ready. Alright guys, so what I did is I got my smoker out, I got the blanket on it. This insulated blanket will help a lot in the cold, obviously you can see. It's snowing. I have it set to 200 degrees because essentially what we're going to do is reverse sear this. We're going to cook this till it's almost done, and then we're going to finish it in a pan on the grill because it's going to smoke a lot, so we're going to do it outside because the grill's right there. So yeah. While I'm here, I might as well hit it with the pepper. I'm actually going to open the middle up and get some bigger chunks on here too, just for some texture. But remember, you don't need salt. The salt's already in / on the steak. It'll be seasoned. Repeat on the other side. All right, and then just a touch of garlic powder. Again, flip it over. Like always, lift the rack, dip the edges. Alright guys, so I have my grandma's steak. Lightly seasoned for her. She doesn't like salt, she'll yell at me. With this steak, you can kind of just rub the seasoning around onto it and get it nicely seasoned. Alright. Alright guys, so basically what we're going to be doing in this process is what's called reverse searing, which means to cook the steak low and slow until it's almost done, take it out, and then sear it, getting that beautiful Maillard reaction. And the cool thing about it is that we dry brined it, so that will pull protein-laden moisture to the surface, helping you get a better crust. So it's going to be really good. I haven't decided if I want to do it on like the burner on the pan or straight up on the grill like on the flames yet. I'll decide that later, but I might just do it in the pan. It'll be better contact. Sears are always better in pans because if you look at a grill grate, the spots where the steak's not touching will be no sear, where if it's a pan, the steak will stay flat the whole time. You get what I'm saying? So may or may not use a pan, don't know.
But yeah, I'm also gonna cook a spaghetti squash with Uma, and we're going to make those mushrooms also. So yeah, see you guys in a second. All right, what do we gotta do? Yeah, she's being stubborn. You put the olive oil onto it, and you season it with your salt and pepper, or whatever the hell you want. Some nasty people put sauce and stuff on there. I don't like all that crap. I just like SP, maybe some G. I'm gonna take that, rub it. All on the outside. Okay, and then once the oven comes to temperature, you just basically bake it in there. Also, give it a couple nice stabs. Alright guys, so we're gonna take our meter and we're gonna put it in our steak in the thickest part. Oop, came right out the middle. In our thickest part, and then kind of pull it out a little bit. Alright guys, so we hit temp. I actually cranked it up to 225. That's fine. So we're gonna put our steaks right here. We're gonna open this up. Okay. Put my grandma's steak right back here. Take my steak. We're gonna take that probe and leave. And we're gonna also insert this probe in about the same area, making sure they're not touching. And we're gonna basically smoke these for about 45 minutes. So yeah. Smoke your steaks. Alright guys, so the squash is in the oven. That just has to cook in there, so yeah. Alright guys, so we're gonna get our grill ready.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Alright guys, so we hit 116. We're gonna take them out now. Here's what they look like so far. Alright guys, so our steaks are resting still. I got a skillet heating up over medium-high to high heat for the mushrooms. And in a few minutes we're gonna be doing this for the steaks. Alright guys, so once your pan's nice and hot, again you wanna add your olive oil. And let that get hot for a couple minutes. On the flip side, you want to turn up your pan again to a little bit above medium-high. Right there. Might have to adjust that, but we're gonna start with that. Alright, so once your oil starts to smoke slightly, add your mushrooms. You want to hear that noise because you want these to fry. There's a big difference in taste and texture to a mushroom that's boiled or fried. We want that fried texture and taste. It's way better. Get these with a nice pinch. Of course, some salt to help draw the moisture. And then with this, some nice big cracks of black pepper. Add a little bit more oil. Alright, let those go. Alright guys, so this pan is just starting to smoke a little bit. We're going to add our peanut oil for this one. Nice big glug of that. And let that come up to temperature. We're going to cook my grandma's steak first because hers has to go longer. So kind of swirl that around. You see those ripples? You can see them really good this time. That's what I'm talking about, ripples. Let this heat for about 30-40 seconds though. Alright, so we're going to take our steak. We're going to throw it in there. And just let it cook. As far as time, I'm not sure yet. Well, I'll tell you in a second. It'll be on the screen if I don't say it. Alright guys, so our mushrooms are going good. My steak's going good. About to flip it here in a few seconds. Alright guys, so let's flip her steak. Beautiful crust. So to our mushrooms, just because I have them, I'm going to strip off some of these thyme flowers and just put those in there. And the easiest way to do those is just to grab the stock like this and just go the opposite way. So like that, they pick right off. I'm going to turn the steak on its side, let it sear the fat cap, as this steak is going to have fat on it. Now I'm going to turn the heat down to a little bit behind medium. And I'm going to take the steak out for a second and let it rest. While it's resting, I'm going to add my butter. So the heat is on right there. Melt your butter. Alright, so keep your mushrooms going. These are just about done. I'm actually going to add a little bit of butter to these also. Like a tablespoon. That should be enough. And I'm going to turn the heat down to these. Down to like low. Alright, our beautiful butter is starting to foam and brown. We're going to throw in our garlic, our rosemary, and our thyme. Then we're going to add our steak back in. And let that sit just for a second. And just the same as yesterday, we're going to tilt our pan back, put our steak here, and just baste. And that's going to throw all those aromatics from the butter and the rosemary and the thyme into that steak. And you see how the butter is nice and foamy and brown? This is exactly what you want. You don't want it to be too hot. You don't want it to be too cold. This is a perfect temperature for basting. For Uma's steak, we're going to be about a minute 30 per side because she likes hers well done. I know it's a sin, but that's how she likes it, so I'm going to make it for her, even though I don't like it. But yeah. So just baste your steak. After a minute and a half, flip it, do the other side. Alright guys, so Uma's steak is done. We're going to take it off and let it rest. And we're going to wipe out the pan and basically start the whole process over again. Oh, I guess I didn't hit record, so I shredded up my spaghetti squash. Over here I got my steak temp, so it's at 92 degrees. So I know I don't have to cook it much longer to finish it. I got a thing of butter, so let's get to the steak. Alright guys, so we're going to lay our ribeye in. And we're going to let this cook for about 45 seconds to a minute per side. Alright guys, so flip the steak. Beautiful sear. Alright, we're going to flip it up on its fat cap. And when you do that, you want to tilt the pan back like this. Okay. Now, we're going to lower heat to a low medium and take our steak out for a few seconds while the pan calms down.
then while it's glowing down, we're gonna throw our butter in, let that slowly melt. All right, guys, so same deal, throw your herbs and your garlic in there. All right, put your steak back in. And we don't want to baste this for super long because it's already close to being done. So we're only going to do about 30 to 40 seconds per side. But just rapidly baste it. Alright. Alright guys, so here it is. Let's, you can see that fat cap. We're going to go ahead and cut that right off. Okay. Just nail this right here. We're gonna cut this on the bias. Beautifully cooked. Wow. Okay, put our steak again. Like nice slices on the bias. And here it is, your finished product. Alright guys, so let's try a piece from the fat cap. Whoa. Wow. And that piece from the actual ribeye. Wow. Holy shit. Emma, what do you think?
10.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's smoke. Just adds such a layer of flavor. The dry brine, I didn't dry brine Uma's, but mine, it is seasoned absolutely perfectly. The salt penetrated all the way through the core. It is one of the best things I've ever made. What were you gonna say, Uma? You're about to say something, it sounded like.
No.
Oh. Alright, well, I'm gonna eat. I'll see you guys soon. Alright guys, like I've said in the past, I know my smoke always looks dirty, but it really isn't. You're only supposed to clean these every 3 to 4 uses, at least when I do it. Because you want it to kind of build up a patina, but, you know, every 3, 4, 5 uses, whatever, you do want to give it a nice good scrub in hot soapy water and get off all the built down junk and gunk. So yeah, we're going to do that. But I'm going to listen to some Toto, so you guys have to go. Alright guys, so it's about 11 o'clock at night, and we're going to prep our ribs for the next day. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be beneficial. Last time I made ribs, I didn't do this, so this time we're going to. So what I'm going to do is use a spoon, the back of a spoon like this, to get that started. I'm going to take this paper towel, and you want to get this membrane. Get this membrane all off. Okay. Get your spoon, you know, dig it under there. You get the point. Keep working at it. Make sure you get it all off. Alright guys, so now we got some options. We can save these, you know, end riblets, but I don't really care. The presentation will look better if we get rid of these. We'll still keep these, I guess, and cook them, but it looks much better like that. And I'm actually going to take off on this end. This rib here and this one, you know. We'll save them, cook them, why not? But, you know, as far as looking at a piece, that looks much better. We'll also trim off that little bit there, this little bit here. Okay, but as far as the butchering goes, in this rack, that's all I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna set it aside, and I'm gonna do the second rack the same way. All right, guys. So let's get the seasoning of these ribs. The first thing they're gonna get, both sets are gonna get Killer Hogs AP rub. Now this is just salt, pepper, and garlic. I'll put an AP rub recipe in the screen. I'm using this because it's already mixed, but you can make this at home. It's super easy. So yeah, we're gonna give it a good, generous dose of this. Kind of pat that in. Okay. Now, for this rack, they're gonna get Guga's rub, which you guys saw me make earlier. We're gonna give it a quick shake up. Yeah, they're gonna get a nice, good, heavy dose of Guga's rub. Okay, pack it in real good, flip it, do the same to this side. All right, see you in a second. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this rack, I'm gonna make all the spices and seasoning, go to the middle, because why not? And I'm simply just gonna fold this over this way, fold this over this way, make a crease, fold them up like that. Okay, and I'm gonna get a marker and I'm gonna write Guga on them, just so I remember which one is which. So give me a second. Okay, Guga. So I'm gonna put these off to the side. These two ribs are also fold up pretty much the same way. Okay, let's do the next set. Okay, again with my base, with this one I'm going to do all pre-mixed rubs. So I'm again start with a good base of SPG. I'm going to mix this because you can see the P is lacking a little. There we go, now it's more even. Nice heavy dose of SPG. Okay, then we're gonna go with some garlic jalapeno from Heath Riles. Layer of this. There's not much salt in the rubs besides the AP rub, so we don't have to be too crazy careful. But there's a good amount of salt in the AP rub, so it's good. And then we're gonna come up with the barbecue rub. We don't want to be chintzy with the rub. I have a whole nother container if we need it. We're not going to, but if we did, we have a whole nother container. Okay. This stuff is awesome. You can get all three of these rubs, by the way, if you can see them. Oh, you can't. You can get the barbecue rub, you can get the garlic jalapeno, and the AP rub all at Walmart, and then Guga's rub. You guys saw me make it earlier, so all I have to do is buy those spices and ingredients. Alright, so we're gonna rub these in. Okay. Flip them. Repeat the process, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the wrap. I'm gonna wrap these ones individually, and I'm gonna wrap those two bonus ones in another little thing and label them. I don't know, you'll see that part. Alright guys, so I have our ribs all wrapped. They're in a rack. I'm gonna put them in the fridge overnight. They're just in the rack just in case anything leaks. It leaks into there because some moisture will be drawn out by the salts and sugars and everything, which we want. It's gonna be good. But yeah, they just have to chill out now until we're ready to take them out tomorrow. All right, see you then. So I decided I want these ribs to be done by about 6 o'clock, which means I have to start them at 3. So what I'm gonna do is around 2 to 2:30, I'm gonna take the ribs out of the refrigerator and let them come up to room temp, and then I'm also going to get the smoker out and get it ready. Now it should only take about 25 to 30 minutes to heat up, but I'm gonna give them a full hour for the smoker to heat up just in case it has trouble. Sometimes it does, but that smoker's been working really good lately, so I can't complain. But I'm gonna give it plenty of time to heat up. I'd rather have it run for longer, especially since it's electric. It doesn't matter. It's not like charcoal or a stick burner where like you have to keep feeding it. It can sit there and run without wood chips for 12 hours if I want it to. It's not gonna change anything. So anyways, we're gonna be smoking at 275. We're gonna smoke the ribs for 2 hours. Then we're gonna take them out. We're gonna wrap them and smoke them for about another hour. And then we're gonna take them out, let them rest, put our sauce onto them, which I'm deciding if I want to make one or if I want to go to the store and get a sauce. And yeah, that'll be it. All right, guys, let's make vinegar sauce. So add a cup of vinegar, half a cup of ketchup, some hot sauce, some Worcestershire, salt and pepper, and some brown sugar. Mix well and reduce for 30 minutes. Okay, guys, so let's make the traditional sauce. So grate a quarter of an onion and saute this over medium heat with a little salt and pepper. And then you're going to crush 3 cloves of garlic. After that sautés for a minute, you're going to add 1 cup of ketchup, 1 cup of dark brown sugar, a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little lemon juice, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and a tablespoon of your rub, plus 3 pats of butter. All right, guys, so both of our sauces are going. We got our more traditional Kansas City thicker barbecue sauce, and we got our vinegar sauce that we're going to use to put into the ribs when we, you'll see. You got to make both, basically. Or buy them, whatever you want. But yeah, these are gonna reduce and simmer for 30 minutes each. So yeah, see you in a second. All right, guys, so here's our vinegar sauce. Beautiful consistency. It has a really strong vinegar kick, but it's not too strong. Like, if you actually literally follow this recipe and make it, it'll make sense to you. It's really good, and I don't like vinegar, super strong vinegar, and this is just that tang to it, but not too much. On the other side, this is still reducing. Just been, stirring it, moving it around every once in a while, but you'll see it reduces down to a lot. But yeah, this has got about 8 minutes left. But basically, with both these sauces, when they're done, I'm just gonna let them sit like this out at room temperature for about an hour. Let them cool down, come to room temp, and just sit. And the longer they sit, the more flavor they build. Actually, I really should have did this the night before, or I could even do this Friday. The more time it has to sit, the more flavor it's gonna get. So you can do this a day or two ahead, or you can do it the day of. It's still gonna be good. It's up to you guys. But yeah, let your barbecue sauce sit. All right, so our sauce is done. Again, we're just gonna let this come to room temperature, but it is nice and thick. And it's absolutely delicious. So yeah, I'm gonna let this come to room temp before I lit it up, and then at some point I might transfer it to this, but I might not need to because I'm really just gonna be painting it onto the ribs, so I don't really need to put it in this. All right, guys, so it's about 1:40. Getting ready to get the smoker here ready in a few minutes. So let's get our ribs out. And we're gonna take them out the foil. And I'm gonna set this foil aside for now. And we're just gonna let them now sit out at room temperature. And the air will help them pack up what they want. Okay. And we're just gonna let them sit at room temperature and come up to room temperature while we do this. Alright guys, so we're set our temp. We're gonna go up to 275. Set temp, set time. I always like to do way longer than I need. These should only take about 3 hours, but I'm gonna set them for 6, just to be safe. And that's it, just let them heat up. So it's actually really nice out, at least it's a lot warmer than it was yesterday, but I'm still gonna use the blanket. It's not necessary, but it just helps, so why not? Alright guys, so we're gonna open up our smoker here. Okay. And we're gonna take our first rack, the Google ribs, and we're gonna put them just like this, and kind of bunch them together like this. Hopefully you can see that, because they're gonna cook like that. We'll take the second rack, which are the Hada Barbecue Right ribs, and do the same thing. And then we'll put Guga, and Hada Barbecue Right. Hada Barbecue Right. Okay. This closed up. And this is gonna smoke just like this for 2 hours, and every half an hour I'm gonna spritz it. So we're gonna go inside and make our spritz now. Alright guys, so for our spritz, we're gonna put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in here. You can see how much. I don't want a ton, but then we're gonna fill the rest with just cold water. Okay. Put the lid on. Give it a real good shake. And that's gonna be our spritz for our ribs. Now mind you, we're only gonna spritz these about every half an hour, but only if they need them. So every half an hour I'm gonna check. If they don't need to be spritzed, they're moist enough, I'm not gonna do it. Alright guys, so our ribs are ready to take out and to wrap. Put our rack right up. Up. Alright guys, so I got that double layer of foil. I'm gonna take my vinegar sauce. I'm gonna make a nice little pour of that. Okay. Then I'm gonna take my ribs. I'm gonna put them like this. Fold them over like this. Fold them over like that. Fold this. Alright. Now I'm just gonna repeat that same process with all the rest of them. Alright guys, so our ribs are wrapped. Now they just have to smoke for another about hour to hour and a half. You want them to hit 202. Make sure you temp them. I'll show you guys that and talk about it more later. But last time I raid ribs, one was better than the other. And the one that was better than the other was the one that I actually let hit 202. And then it carried over a little past that. And the one I pulled at like 190 something wasn't as tender. So anyways guys, let these smoke for another hour as they're wrapped. Alright guys, so Uma made the mac and cheese with the Cheez-Its. Looks phenomenal. Shout out Uma, go ahead. So now we're gonna make cornbread. And we're basically just following this recipe, but
I'm following this one up here. It's a cup of
cornmeal.
cornmeal,
Okay.
a cup of flour,
All-purpose flour.
sugar.
Yep.
I don't know how much
Oh, 1/4 cup.
sugar.
Yep.
Bacon powder.
3 tablespoons baking powder. That. Teaspoon of kosher salt. So you want to mix your dry ingredients together well first, right?
Right.
Got it.
Milk. Cup of
1
milk.
cup milk. Okay.
1 egg beaten.
Whoa.
And then 1/4 of a cup of oil.
Olive oil.
I use vegetable oil.
Okay.
Mix that up. And then you put the wet and the dry together.
You know, I just thought of something. I don't think we filmed it when we made the mac and cheese last time. I think you already made it. Shit. Well, if I didn't do that, we'll have to make it again. I don't have a problem with her making it again. It's really good. While she's mixing, it's literally got Cheez-Its on it. Like, how can it not be good? Cheez-Its are dank. Alright, so you spray the 8x8 pan with Pam. You're going to put that in there and then bake it for how long?
I think it's 20 to 25 minutes at 425.
So these are the instructions, guys. Bake it for 25 minutes at 425 degrees. So the Jake Paul fight's on. I'm going to go watch him get knocked out, hopefully, unless it's rigged. And you can do the rest, right? She doesn't like to be on camera.
All right.
The people like you. Oh, they like when you're on the video.
Hi, people. I'm going to put the mac and cheese in now.
Okay. And how long does that have to bake for? Until it's done?
Probably 30, 40 minutes.
Okay,
'Cause
cool.
Then this has got to go in for 25, so we should be right around 6.
Cool. Alright, guys, so we're watching the fight. Hopefully it's not rigged and Jake Paul gets his ass knocked out finally, because I'm going to be real salty if he wins. Thoughts?
Tommy Fury doesn't win. Just stop.
Alright, guys. I'm not going to show more for copyright reasons.
75-74. He has it for Paul.
What? The first round went to Jake Paul?
76-73 for Fury.
Yep.
Eminem scores it. 76-73.
Fury won.
By split decision.
Fury won, I think.
Tommy!
Yeah! Fuck you, Jake Paul! Let's go!
Oh, rematch.
Alright, guys, so it's been another hour. So now you're going to take your ribs out. Okay. And you want to check them for the doneness. Look for a few things. Temperature, what they look like, what they feel like. God damn. Hot. So let's open these up. We're looking for that disintegration, which we got. Right. Let's bring these over here. Hold on, guys. Let's walk. Alright, so. Alright, exactly what you want is this disintegration that you can see with the bones. And now you want to temp them. You're looking for 202. Alright, so I'm going to wrap these up. And I'm going to put them in for another like 5 minutes for this one. check the How to Barbecue Right ones. These are done. So these, I'm gonna just leave like this, open. These I'm gonna put in for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe. All right guys, so this is how we're gonna do this. So in here I got some of the vinegar barbecue sauce with some of the original one I made. And we're just gonna put this on here. Okay. And these are the How to Barbecue Right ribs. So we're gonna do what's called muddy. So that means we're gonna take these, we're gonna sprinkle with just a little kiss of the rub. A little nice little kiss of that rub. Okay. We're just gonna kind of put these to the side, and we're gonna check our other ribs right now. So I'm gonna grab those. Alright guys, so we're gonna do these the same. We're gonna paint on our sauce. And actually kind of gloop it on here. And then sauce these up. Okay. But instead of the barbecue rub, we're gonna muddy these up with the new rubs. Let's go with rub. So, next thing we want to do is we're gonna kind of make these little foil boats over here, where we kind of get the foil. We're gonna take our other ribs and kind of do the same thing. Make these up into little, almost like boats, whatever you want to call them. And we're gonna put these back in the smoker for like 10 to 15 minutes. Now, these ones, these little like riblet pieces at the end, we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just not gonna film it, but you get the idea. Put these back in the smoker, let them tack up. All right, so they're done. We're gonna get them out. Wow, they look insane, especially these ones. Oh my God, they look beautiful. Look. Let's get these inside and get them ready. Alright guys, so let's set these aside. We're gonna just take these up onto the board. Wow. I don't know if the camera is picking up. These are like a beautiful mahogany red, and these are a little bit darker, but still, I'm drooling. All right, guys. So now all we have to do is slice these. Wow. Okay, we'll flip these ones over, do the same thing. Wow. Alright guys, let's try one of these How to Barbecue Right ones first. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Ten. 100% 10. Alright. Googles. Wow. Wow. They're both insane. Wow. I'm just gonna go eat. They're too good to talk. Ooh.
I can get both these.
So what is
Stamp of approval.
Oh yeah.
Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for the day. It's about 9 o'clock almost, 8:45, so you know, close to 9 o'clock. And I'm just gonna chill for the night, watch a little TV with my buddy from Texas, probably on Xbox. Shout out Ryan. And yeah, so this was a good weekend. I ate a lot of food, a lot of real good food. That salmon Friday was delicious. The steak last night was insane. The ribs tonight were some of the best ribs I've ever made or had. They were delicious. I do like the St. Louis ribs better than baby backs, but these were still insane. They were delicious. Nothing to complain about. Jake Paul lost, so that was great. And yeah, I had a good weekend. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'm gonna go chill for the rest of the night, enjoy myself, and hopefully this is up Monday, if not Tuesday. It all depends on how long it processes, because this video is almost an hour long, I think, or about an hour long, and it's going to take a long time to process to 4K. So if that ever happens, if there's a reason why you don't see a video for a long time, that's why. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully I did the little editing where the little subscribe bar came up. I'm trying to get a little bit better. And yeah, see you guys next time. Enjoy Kong 94 out.